Hello, my friend. Welcome to this new episode. Today, I'd like to share with you some ideas on two energies that seem to be inside of us as if they are fighting each other. But in reality, the one needs the other. And this is the feminine and the masculine energy. And as you probably already know, these are not anything to do with whether you are a woman or a man. They're inside both women and men. And they are, in effect, like two inner notions of life, like two rivers moving in sometimes opposite direction, but when they're in balance, they are concurrent and they support each other. So the one energy helps us to organize, to decide, to set limits, to set targets, and to traverse towards a trajectory. Whereas the other one helps us to listen deeply, to feel, to trust, to create bondages with others, and to allow space for the unforeseen. And the reason I'm bringing this to your attention today is because, like you probably feel that this is a time when there's a lot of reaction, there's intrusion, there is this energy of control, and these are energies that make us feel contracted rather than free and expanded. So when this force loses touch with the heart, that's when we have more and more conflict, wars, and in our own personal life, we notice that there's a lot of toxicity and maybe rifts with people that we have been together for a very long time, where we are changing pages, not in the same time, so we are taking different directions. So this feeling and this friction between these two different energies and their imbalances, I felt very strongly in my own journey in Europe during the pandemic. And that was when I took a midlife decision at the age of 51 to sell most of my things and travel without really knowing every night where I will be sleeping or what the next stop is going to be. So that was very different to the way I lived before, because for years I had lived in a way that was strategic, that was planned, where I would know exactly where my next step would be. Whereas this journey called me into becoming more fluid, more unpredictable. It taught me how to listen to my body, my intuition, what the moment needed. And in this flow, I discovered a different form of security. Not the security of absolute control, but the security of connecting with my internal guide. A guide that seemed to be like a GPS system that took me to a place where I could make wiser decisions. So let me give some examples of highly masculine energies. A highly masculine energy would be when we would be organizing a trip, when we would be booking tickets for an event, where we would be planning and attending to the practical details. Whereas a different example, opposite, an example of the feminine energy would be when we are wandering, walking without any specific destination in mind. When we allow our curiosity to drive us, to show us the way, and when we allow life to present us with something that we have not planned. When this female energy loses its balance, it can become chaotic, indecisive, and extremely pleasemaking. So it's very difficult to say no when we're in that out of balance feminine energy. Whereas when the masculine energy loses its balance, it can become very stifled, very controlling, exceptionally directed towards working, towards efficiency and productivity. And it's very hard for us to rest or even to trust other people. And when you don't trust other people, you seldom are able to trust your own internal voice. So here's a little exercise that I'd like to share with you, self-discovery exercise. You can draw a big T, the letter T, on a blank page, and on the one side you can scribble behaviors that you connect with external action, organization, setting limits, setting targets and destinations. Whereas on the other hand, you can put behaviors that you connect with flow, acceptance, creativity, the cultivation of relationships and trust. And these are behaviors that you would do during a normal week. So you could look at the previous week and jot them down. And then you can look at this page and just quietly ask yourself, which quality do I use more often, the feminine or the masculine? And which one needs more space at this period of my life? So which one do I need to increase a little bit more so that I come into balance? And of course, balance, as Aristotle used to say, doesn't mean that we have equal quantities of feminine and masculine energy. But it's about learning to listen, especially our body, to what is needed at every given moment. So when is it that I need to be more in action mode and push things to happen? And when is it that I need to sit back and allow, let go? When is it that I need to put limits on myself maybe or on other people? And when is it that I need to just be in the flow and accept? So which is the internal quality that is calling upon you these days? And before I close this episode, I'd also like to add another dimension to this two-dimensional idea of two energies. I'd like to add a third one. Yes, a third one. And that is the childlike energy. So at the bottom of your T on this white page, make a list of all the activities that you used to enjoy doing as a child. Are you doing any of those during your busy working life or even on weekends? Have you forgotten what it's like to be enthused by playing with sand or doodling with colors on a page? So in order to be in balance, it's not enough to make sure that you have the right energy, whether it's feminine or masculine, in the right moment. It's also very important to spice up our daily lives with a bit of fun, childlike fun. There you go. This is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sending you my blessings and lots of love. Alexia.